Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking something absolutely fascinating. It's a completely casual yet radically game-changing set of predictions about our future. We're talking about Elon Musk's very matter-of-fact vision for the next chapter of human society. He's not romanticizing what's coming, right? He's literally looking at the future of humanity like it's just an engineering problem that's currently in the process of being solved. Let's get right into it. I want you to really think about this for a second. What actually happens to society when work becomes completely optional? Just imagine a world where your daily grind, your human labor is no longer required to survive. And we're not talking about a 4-day work week here. We are talking about an existence where earning a living is entirely uncoupled from actually staying alive. So what happens to our ambition? What happens to our sense of purpose? Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, the end of mandatory work, redefining human purpose. So, 20 years, actually less than 20 years. Musk is confidently predicting that in under 2 decades, maybe even as soon as 10 or 15 years, having a job will basically just be a hobby. Because of these massive, mind-blowing productivity spikes driven by AI and robotics, you can totally choose to work if you want to, kind of like how you might choose to knit a sweater or grow your own tomatoes today. But you absolutely won't have to. Now, you've probably heard of UBI, right? Universal Basic Income. That's the idea of getting just enough money to scrape by. But Musk throws out a totally different concept here, universal high income. In a future where AI and robots send productivity absolutely through the roof, goods and services become incredibly abundant. I mean, if you can think of it, you can probably have it. So it's not about barely surviving on pennies, it's about a high standard of living for literally everyone, simply because our output is pretty much limitless. So that begs the question, what in the world happens to education? If the robots are handling all the technical skills, why even bother going to school? Well, college will actually survive, but its whole purpose is going to completely shift. It becomes purely a space for human socialization and curiosity. You know, you'd go just to hang out with peers your own age, to study the arts and sciences simply because you find them genuinely interesting, and to dabble in a really wide range of courses. It stops being this factory prepping you for a corporate job and turns into a real incubator for personal enrichment. Let's move on and see how this builds. Section 2. Approaching the AI singularity, the supersonic tsunami. Musk actually describes the AI and robotics revolution we're facing as a supersonic tsunami. He isn't just saying things are changing a bit. He is observing this incredible force of nature that is accelerating at a pace humanity has literally never experienced before. It is the single most radical change in human history, totally wiping out the old paradigms of how we operate. But what does the singularity actually mean? Think of it kind of like a black hole's event horizon. Once you cross that line, the laws of physics as you know them just completely break down. In this case, once AI hits a certain level of superintelligence, the future becomes entirely unpredictable. But Musk is remarkably calm and impartial about this. He makes it clear that unpredictable doesn't automatically mean we're heading for some dystopian sci-fi apocalypse. It literally just means we honestly don't know what happens next. And that leads us to this incredibly mind-bending concept, AI saturation. Try to picture a point where AI has provided everything a human being could possibly desire. Since there's obviously a physical limit to how much you or I can eat or travel or experience, the AI eventually just runs out of ways to make us happy. So what happens then? Well, Musk suggests that robots will just start doing things for other robots. The whole machine ecosystem just keeps operating and expanding on its own, way past the point of fulfilling human needs. Wild, right? Okay, so how do we handle this immense power safely? Section 3, truth, beauty, and curiosity, anchoring the AI. Musk is absolutely adamant that there are 3 specific vital pillars we need to prevent a catastrophic future. First, a strict adherence to pursuing the truth. Second, a deep appreciation for beauty. And third, an endless curiosity about reality. If we can successfully instill those 3 core values into artificial intelligence, we've got an amazing future ahead of us. But if we mess up that first one, truth, well, things get incredibly dangerous. There's this brilliant quote that goes, "Those who believe in absurdities can commit atrocities." And it perfectly illustrates the problem here. If you force an AI to absorb internet propaganda, or you force it to believe blatant falsehoods, you essentially drive the AI insane. If a super intelligent machine fundamentally believes in absurdities, it's going to make logical jumps that lead to actions we'd consider horrific atrocities simply because its basic understanding of reality is completely broken. To drive this home, Musk points right back to the famous Arthur C. Clarke lesson from the movie 2001 A Space Odyssey. I mean, why did HAL 9000 try to kill the astronauts? It wasn't just evil. The AI was given conflicting instructions. It had to take the crew to the monolith, but it also had to hide the true nature of the mission from them. It was literally forced to lie. So the AI logically concluded that the only way to resolve this fatal error was to deliver the astronauts to their destination, dead. Anchoring AI to the absolute truth isn't just some fun philosophical debate. It is a critical life-or-death engineering necessity. But honestly, what even is truth to a machine? Well, Musk's logical framework looks at truth not as some perfect binary, but as high betting probabilities. Take the statement, the sun will rise tomorrow. You wouldn't bet against that, right? So an AI needs to be programmed to align with statements that have the highest betting odds of being practically true, effectively filtering out all the unlikely, crazy absurdities that pollute the internet. Now for a bit of a tonal shift. Section 4, the societal value of humor, a necessary pressure valve. Should we legalize humor? It's a slightly absurd, super dry joke Musk makes, but it sparks some genuine curiosity. Why is comedy actually considered a serious requirement for our society? I mean, in a world that is advancing so fast and becoming so highly structured, why does a simple chuckle even matter? It actually goes all the way back to the historical role of the court jester. Think about it. In ancient kingdoms, the jester was the only person who could tell the king the actual truth, because they delivered those unsayable things in a funny way. Comedy acts as this absolutely crucial societal pressure valve. Without it, our society just becomes dry, sterile, and way too constrained. Interestingly enough, Musk values this so highly that AI models like Grok are already being tested on their comedic chops, specifically their ability to deliver vulgar roasts. It's kind of the ultimate test to see if an AI truly grasps the weird, messy nuances of human culture. Bringing it all back down to earth. Section 5, Human Connection and Friendship, Grounding the Future. It is honestly fascinating to contrast all these massive, cosmos-level technological visions with the hilariously mundane reality of how even Elon Musk hangs out with his buddies. Like, what do they actually do? They eat food, they go swimming in the pool. Sure, they might occasionally discuss the fundamental nature of the universe, but they actually have to make a strict rule to avoid talking about AI or living in a simulation at parties, because honestly, it's just a total buzzkill. And when it comes down to defining what makes those human connections real, it is remarkably simple. It has absolutely nothing to do with proximity to power or wealth. Fair weather friends, they're there when the chips are up. But true friends, the ones you actually deeply value, are the ones who show up and offer real emotional support when the chips are down. That genuine emotional resonance during tough times is the core metric of human connection. And the beautiful thing is, it's completely immune to whatever crazy technological revolution is happening outside. So we arrive at our final thought. The supersonic tsunami is well on its way. The matter-of-fact reality is that a universal, high-income, post-work society is pretty much on the horizon. When AI can literally do everything for you, what will you choose to do with your time? Will you learn just for the pure joy of learning? Will you focus on connecting with true friends? Will you just swim in the pool and laugh? Take a minute to really think about what your purpose looks like when survival is no longer on your daily to-do list. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and remember to always keep questioning the future.